Good afternoon and welcome to Denison. Our graduates are assembling right now, and we're just about ready to begin our procession. So we ask that you please be seated and clear the aisles to make way for the class of 2015. Thank you.
seated. On behalf of the Board of Trustees of Denison University, I am delighted to welcome you to Denison's 174th Annual Commencement Exercises. I watched you all on your first day on campus that hot August day, forming a 15 on Shackelford Commons. Today is the culmination of 4 years of your Denison experience. While your days of attending classes, taking exams, writing papers, and doing projects may be coming to an end, you are nonetheless embarking on a future of lifelong learning. Like the distinguished Denison alumni you joined today, you will be called upon to lead in your chosen endeavors and in service to your community, the nation, and the world. It is this combination of achievement, service, of learning and doing which characterizes Denisonians past and present, including the graduates who will walk across this stage today. Today, we mark the conclusion of your academic enterprise over the past 4 years. We look to the future you and others of your generation will create. Perhaps you will even stand here where I stand today at some future Denison commencement, looking out across a field of graduating Denisonians, sending them forth to achieve and serve. Whatever you do, wherever you go, we know that you will represent your alma mater with distinction. On behalf of all alumni who have served as trustees through the years, I thank you, class of 2015, for joining the Denison family. You have allowed Denison to become a part of you, and you have given the college and this community much in return. Congratulations, and welcome to the Society of the Alumni. It is now my pleasure to call to the podium the 20th president of Denison University, Dr. Adam Weinberg, who will lead these proceedings.
So obviously one of the skills I did not learn in graduate school was how to predict the weather. And I'm going to look at my best friend and partner and wife of 23 years who always tells me I'm too punctual. When I got here at 11 o'clock this morning, there were already people here. So there are obviously parents and grandparents who are even more punctual than me. Can everybody, I just want to start this ceremony. Can everybody just join me in congratulating and celebrating the wonderful Denison class of 2015? And I'm going to go off script, which I promised Joyce I wouldn't do. Can the graduates stand up for a second? And can you turn around and join me in thanking your parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, and siblings, and everybody else who made this possible? Stay standing for 1 second. Now if the parents could stand up, and anybody else who wants to, and join me in thanking the faculty and staff who make all of this possible. Now you can sit. Well, we can do it again. It's been an honor to spend 2 years on the Hill with the Denison class of 2015. I want to start by just thanking you for welcoming me and my family to Denison and helping us transition into this marvelous college. I also want to congratulate you on all you've accomplished during your time here. We have a performance culture at Denison. We expect people to step up, to participate, and to push themselves to perform both in the classroom and across campus. You have demonstrated that attribute of Denison at its very best. You have been great students who performed at the highest level through your courses and through impressive research. You've represented Denison at the absolute highest level on the athletic field and in various artistic venues, and it's been an honor to work with you through a myriad of campus organizations as you've sought to leave your mark on this college. You've had the privilege of receiving a special kind of education, a kind of education that, in my view, every single human being deserves, but very few receive. You know, there's been a lot of media coverage over the last year about higher education. Pundits, politicians, and others have weighed in on what makes a valuable education. For the most part, they've missed the point. They've focused on the components of an education. And while colleges do have courses and books, majors, co-curricular activities, and lots of strategic plans, it would be a mistake to reduce them to these parts. At the core, colleges are bundles of people and the relationships that form or don't form between them. The learning, the fun, the challenge, the growth happen as people come together in different configurations, in different times and places, and doing different things together. In other words, we learn from each other, and we're shaped by the nature of the relationships. The education you received was formed by the people you interacted with on this hill. Friendships run deep at Denison, and they often do so in complex ways. Many friendships began and grew because you shared a common passion. You worked together in a lab or played on the same athletic team or performed in an ensemble or choir. But many of the friendships formed because you were different, and you took joy in that difference. You hailed from different parts of the country, or you had different personalities. A graduating senior wrote to me recently, "I came to Denison with my own set of experiences and beliefs, but through interactions with people who have entirely different experiences and beliefs, I've developed into a more complete person. The people I have met while at Denison have shaped me in a way I could not have imagined 4 years ago." Another kind of relationship that runs deep at Denison is mentorship. I'm convinced you can get a great education many places, but what you get at Denison is unique, and it's formed by the mentorship. At Denison, our faculty go way beyond being great teachers to being master mentors. They listen, challenge, collaborate, show empathy, and exude humor, but most of all, our faculty connect, they care, and they catalyze. One graduating senior recently wrote to me, "The classes that I've been on the verge of dropping have often been some of my best and most memorable classes. In those classes, the professors challenged me to a level I did not believe I could achieve. I really appreciate the professors who did not accept bad work. The phrase, 'This is good work, but I know you can do better,' empowered me to push myself and grow in my 4 years at Denison." We have a culture of mentorship at Denison, and it happens everywhere. I'll often stop a student and ask them to just list their mentors, and they never hesitate. They always start with faculty, but then they go on to mention staff, alumni, parents, and other members of the extended Denison family. Finally, your education at Denison is shaped as we share a physical space, a campus that becomes a community. We have our agreements, and we have our disagreements. We have moments of profound conflict. This community is diverse by race, ethnicity, class, sexual orientation and identity, political and religious views and life experiences. And that means that people collide in ways that leads to explosive moments. Those clashes are painful because they lead to disagreement, to misunderstanding, and just to colliding needs. But they're also important, and lots of learning and community growth happens through those relationships of conflict. The class of 2015 has regularly taken on the hard issues on campus. You have exhibited an intellectual and personal courage and ethical leadership by helping each other to ask hard questions, pushing each other to be better people, and pushing Denison to be a better college. An education takes place as people interact with each other. Colleges are bundles of relationships. It's the relational aspects that matter most and deserve way more attention, respect, and support. The books being written and the public policies being drafted almost never talk about the relationships. And yet when you talk to alumni who have led great lives, that's all they ever talk about. So my hope for our graduates is simple. I hope the relationships, the social interactions that formed your Denison experience have instilled within you 3 attributes. The first is self-determination. Denison provides a foundation from which students find their voice, becoming the kinds of autonomous thinkers the world so desperately needs. The world needs people who can think anew and think for themselves. It needs people who can get the questions right. Second, community. This is a college that produces graduates who are committed to and capable of building and sustaining community in important ways. We produce engaged citizens and discerning moral agents. The challenges you will face will require people who can build healthy teams at work, communities at home, and connections globally. Be those people. The third is performance. This is a college that produces graduates who seek excellence. We demand it in the classroom, strive for it on athletic fields, in the arts, and other campus organizations, and embed it as an important value. Live that quality and role model it for others. Do not accept mediocrity in thought, values, and actions, and demand that others do the same. As you look forward, I charge you, our graduating seniors, with taking at least these 3 sets of skills, values, and habits from your Denison liberal arts education. If you do so, they will serve you well. Now that you have a liberal arts education, live a life shaped by the liberal arts. So here's the great news. The relationships that form at Denison start here, but they will endure the rest of your life. I love the comment made this week by one of you. Denison relationships are not transactional, but overlapping and intersecting, something that we will take with us no matter where we go. Many of you will remain lifelong friends. Other of you will become lifelong friends even though you weren't friends at Denison. You are graduating into an alumni community of 40,000 Denisonians. You will be surprised at how much Denison and Denisonians shape the rest of your life. So as that happens, please stay connected to the college. Come back for your reunions. Anytime you meet anybody between the ages of 14 and 17 who is smart and interesting, tell them to look at Denison. Put a Denison coffee mug on your desk at work, a bumper sticker on your car, and a Denison pennant on your refrigerator at home. Simply put, you're great people, and we want the world to know that you are Denisonians. Continue to be great friends and important mentors to each other. Push each other to be lifelong learners who produce and consume knowledge as part of your everyday life. Mentor each other to use your liberal arts education to always form views based on logic, reason, and sound thinking. Push each other to be the people who always connect seemingly disparate people, helping them find the commonalities and learning to love the differences. Be the people who connect ideas to find new ways of thinking. Be the people who connect ideas to action, thereby making a difference in the world. Denison professor Steve Vogel closes his new book by stating, "The world is nothing beyond us, but is also nothing above or superior to us. It is something we are in as well as of, and that we make in all of our actions. Our duty is simply to make it together and to make it well." I'll miss you, and I look forward to following your journey. This is a great college. You are a great Denison class. It's been a magnificent 2 years with you. Congratulations and thank you. And I now present to you the chair of the faculty, Dr. Nestor Matthews, Associate Professor of Psychology, who will introduce the student speaker for the class of 2015.
It is our tradition at Denison that each year, a member of the graduating class addresses the audience during the commencement ceremony. The speaker is chosen through a competitive process by a committee of faculty, staff, and students. This year's speaker is a communication major and psychology minor from Kalamazoo, Michigan. She is a member of the varsity swimming and diving team and served as captain of the team this year. She's been a valuable member of the Denison community, serving for 3 years in the Alumni Relations Office as the reunion coordinator and the Office of First Year Programs as an orientation coordinator. She also served on this year's Senior Class Gift Committee. Please welcome to the podium this year's student commencement speaker, Sterling Keiser.
Welcome families, friends, faculty, staff, and esteemed peers of the class of 2015 to the day we've been picturing for years. I've often imagined what today would feel like. I've wondered if I would feel older, wiser, beaming with confidence in my amazing college graduateness. Well, I can assure you this. Given that I just made up a word, this is not what I pictured college graduateness to be like. However, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I actually feel a lot like I did on the very first day of our Denison careers. Bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and full of wonder and astonishment at those who surround me. It is often said that college is a time to ask questions. Yet, what I didn't realize is that apparently that statement actually means you spend your senior year answering a lot of questions. It's like the game of 20 questions you never knew you signed up for. I don't mean questions about Foucault or literary theory or Bayesian superstructure. I mean the scary, real-life questions. Questions about you. For every question that you yourself may have, there's someone coming at you with 4 more. I finally just came to the conclusion that I missed the memo about the list of the most popular questions to ask college seniors. Or maybe it was a BuzzFeed article that I missed. 23 questions that are sure to freak out soon-to-be college grads, as told by cats. There's the typical, so what's next question? Or, are you ready for the real world? Both of which seem to trigger near panic attacks almost every time I've witnessed them. But then there's the question that asks you to offer up all of that amazing college graduateness wisdom that we're supposed to have. And that one is always a little more interesting to answer. Not too long ago, I was approached by a father asking for a piece of advice that he could take home to his son. I thought for a few moments about what wisdom I should offer him, and a couple classic thoughts came to mind that I considered, but then let go. Take classes outside of your comfort zone, or always remember to put water in your Easy Mac before sticking it in the microwave. It's amazing how many 3 a.m. fire drills happen because of Easy Mac. But then I realized that he would learn these things pretty quickly on his own, and instead, I decided to share some information that I myself had just recently come to appreciate. I smiled at the gentleman, and I responded quite simply, have no plan. Now, similar to several of you at the moment, his initial response was essentially a look of panic and horror. Here I am, telling a parent that his first child going to college shouldn't have a plan. Just no plan. This poor man looked like I had just told him the sky was falling. Recognizing this, I went on to explain. I entered Denison thinking I had it all figured out. I had a plan, I was going to stick to it, and life was going to be full of sunshine and butterflies. However, I quickly discovered that Denison is far too inspiring to be confined to the rigid boundaries of a plan. Actually, Denison taunted my plans pretty early on, and I'm so thankful that it did. So as I sat there explaining my seemingly horrible advice to this gentleman, he soon realized what I was trying to say. Had I blindly followed my original plan, I wouldn't have stepped out of my comfort zone. I wouldn't have found the people that have become my lifelong friends, and I certainly wouldn't be who I am today. By not having a plan, you learn to open your eyes. You learn to listen. You learn to trust yourself. You learn to take risks. You learn how amazing it can be to chase yourself rather than your to-do list. Too often we get stuck in this idea that we're supposed to follow the plan, that we forget how we even came up with the plan in the first place. But that's what's so great about Denison. Denison encourages you to throw the plan out the window. While I was lucky enough to have an answer to that particular question of his, that isn't always the case. If we go back to that list of scary questions that apparently everyone knows about, there's often the "what is the Denison experience like?" question. Now, as much as I'd like to have an answer to that question, I don't have one. I don't have an answer simply because there's not one typical Denison experience. There isn't a normal track, a prescribed route, a one-size-fits-all Denison journey. We aren't just handed our Denison experience, we create it. We make Denison University what we want it to be. We have the freedom to build our experience from the ground up, shaping it just as much as it shapes us. And yes, at times this can be scary. You can't just pass go and collect $200. But we're given something much better than that. We're given the opportunities and the people to help us find our way. So as we stand in the doorway to this big, scary, real world that everyone keeps asking us about, wondering if we really are prepared, I encourage you to remember that it's okay to not have a plan. It is okay to not have the answer to every question, so long as you know where to look for the answer. You're more prepared than you think. Trust your foundation, stretch the boundaries, stay humble, give hugs, laugh at dumb jokes, and never doubt your worth. Denison has prepared us to do incredible things, not because we stuck to our plan or had all the answers, but because we became amazing people with even more amazing dreams. Look around you. Sitting next to you is sheer brilliance. We have become the dreamers, the visionaries, the feisty go-getters, the do-gooders, the autonomous thinkers, the discerning moral agents, the voices of Denison University. Sitting amongst you are future presidents, CEOs, creators of social change, artists, musicians, scientists, and so much more. We each found different paths on our Denison journey to launch us into our future, but there's one thing that unites us all. We are Denisonians. Congratulations to my fellow graduates of the class of 2015. It takes guts, a little leap of faith, and the confidence that Denison has prepared you to seize the opportunities in front of you. But let's get out there and show the world what throwing the plan out the window truly looks like. Who knows? You might just find the very thing you never knew you needed. And that, my friends, is a beautiful thing. Thank you.
Sterling always represents that wonderful Denison trait of doing absolutely 1,000 things, all of them with grace, passion, talent, and humor. So join me in thanking her one more time. Now, I have the pleasure of introducing the co-governors of the senior class, Kate Ellicott and Pushkal Mehrish, who will present the senior class gift.
All year, I've had something I've really wanted to do, and that is take a full class graduation selfie. So everyone smile bright.
Now that that's out of the way.
Roughly 4 years ago, we came together to be inducted into the Denison community. Unsure of what was to come, we were excited first years, ready to take life on the Hill. Today, we join together to say goodbye to our home away from home and prepare ourselves to take on the world.
Many of us were initially drawn to the Granville's quaint town, the university's intricate academics, and bolstering community. But over the past 4 years, we have each become a vital member of the Denison family. As a class, we are proud of our school, compassionate about our peers, faculty, and community.
This pride and compassion is reflected in the $6,500 our class has raised this year for the senior class gift. Because of your dedication and effort this past year, we have helped to provide future Denisonians with scholarships and financial aid so that they too can find a home on this hill.
We are proud to say that 52% of our class has contributed thus far. The full list of donors can be found in the pamphlet provided. In addition, there's a list of those who have given in honor of faculty, staff, parents, and students.
We would like to take this moment to thank those who helped us this year. Thank you everyone involved in the senior class gift committee. If all the members of the committee could please rise and be recognized for your hard work. We would also like to recognize Julia McCarthy and Curtis Edmonds. Without you, none of this would have been possible. We would also like to thank President Adam Weinberg and his wife Ann Weinberg, as they graciously provided matching dollars as an incentive that challenged our class to participate.
Lots of Many of us have been financially supported by Denison and the annual fund. That support in part comes from the classes before us. These classes gave so that we could have the same opportunities and resources that they had. This way of giving back, both now and in the future, helps us stay involved in a community that we will always be a part of.
And now, because of this dedication and compassion of the senior class, we're able to leave our home on the hill a better place than when we came here, and ready to take on the world by storm as Denison alumni.
And so, in the wise words of Elle Woods, congratulations, class of 2015. We did it!
Thank you.
Good on that.
It is now my honor to recognize several members of the Denison faculty and staff who are completing many years of exemplary service to the college. Full descriptions of their backgrounds and accomplishments appear in your program. Collectively, these dedicated educators have served the college for a total of 179 years. Their contributions to our community of learning will be deeply missed. First, Vice President and Director of Admissions, Perry Robinson, will be leaving Denison to be closer to family in the state of Wisconsin after serving the college for 27 years, leading the Office of Admissions for 21 of those years. Five members of the faculty and staff are retiring this year. Dr. Susan Garcia, Associate Provost and Professor of Modern Languages, 28 years of service. Dr. Ross Leroux, Associate Professor of Economics, 30 years of service. Dr. Dennis Reed, Associate Professor of English, 36 years of service. Dr. Mary Tuomanen, Professor of Sociology, Anthropology, 22 years of service. And finally, Seth Patton, Vice President for Finance and Management, retires with 36 years of service, the last 19 of those as Vice President of his division. Doctors Garcia, LaRoe, and Reed, and Mr. Patton are here today. One more time, would you please stand so we can recognize you?
Denison has a long tradition of taking time at commencement to honor men and women who have achieved the highest distinction in their field, whose work has a broad impact in society, and who exemplify the ideals of the college. The individual we honor today has distinguished herself as a scholar, an educator, and a prominent leader in her field. Her bio, which outlines her many accomplishments, is included in the back of your program. At this time, I would like to welcome Dr. Robin Bartlett, Professor of Economics, who will serve as the nominator of our honoree. Dr. Bartlett.
Mr. President, I'm pleased to present Deirdre N. McCluskey, candidate for the honorary degree, Doctor of Humane Letters.
The trustees of Denison University, by virtue of the authority vested in them, and upon recommendation of the faculty thereof, confer upon Deirdre N. McCluskey, honored and active scholar, whose creative work on postmodernism, rhetoric, history, and ethics has enriched our thinking in multiple disciplines, in multiple dimensions. Author and editor of dozens of books and hundreds of scholarly pieces on topics ranging from technical economics and statistics to transgendered advocacy and ethics of the virtues. Gifted educator who serves as distinguished professor of economics and of history, as well as professor of English and communication at the University of Illinois at Chicago, teaching there as well as at the University of Chicago in Europe and here at Denison. We present the degree of Doctor Humane Letters honoris causa, given in Granville in the state of Ohio, the 16th day of May, 2015, being the 239th year of the Republic and of the University, the 184th. Deirdre, by the virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees and on the recommendation of the faculty, I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters honoris causa. The faculty marshals will invest you with the appropriate hood to your degree.
Like 2% of the men here and half of 1% of the women, I have a speech defect. I often stutter on the word stutter, so I won't use that word. Don't let it bother you. After 70 years, it stopped bothering me. It's wonderful to be back here at Denison among my friends at the University on the Hill in sweet Granville for the honor of speaking to you. I give thanks to the president and his administration, my old friend, well, she's not old, but my old friend, Robin Bartlett, the trustees, the students, and above all to the parents. I've been to the university a number of times, the longest a 9-week visit in 2003. It snowed an awful lot that year, And every morning I would climb the hill through the snowdrifts with my dog, Jane Austen. It was a crucial time for me and gave me focus for what I imagined was an important book. I want you to see, I do stutter. I want you to take away this afternoon a couple of expressions, only two. There will be a short quiz afterwards. So you want to pay attention and you want to take notes. This will be the last time you'll need to take notes in college. The first is the word transcendent. Those of you who have had a course in Denison's superb Department of Philosophy will be familiar with this word. It means what we believe exists beyond our normal lives. The spirit of the university, of which you've heard. The historical role of the United States. The essence of your family. The ethics of science. The higher meaning of love. God. We humans need the transcendent. I don't mean we should need it or that virtuous people exhibit it or any other conditional need. Is that rain? My word, the president was right. It just turns out that humans need to think about the transcendent. A human life, your life, without a belief beyond your ordinary life is not fully human. As a theologian, an English theologian, put it in the 1690s, now hear this, man doth seek a triple perfection, by which he meant perfection beyond food and entertainment, and even knowledge earned at the university. Humans seek, he wrote, first a sensual, well, we know about that, then an intellectual perfection, but the human doth not seem to rest satisfied, this is 17th century and 16th century English, but the human doth not seem to rest satisfied, but doth further covet somewhat divine and heavenly. For although the beauties, riches, honors, sciences, virtues, and perfections of all men and women, dear, living were in the present possession of one, yet somewhat beyond and above all this there would still be sought and earnestly thirsted for the transcendent. The other and closely related expression that I want you to remember now, look, my college commencement was 51 years ago, and I remember it vividly except for the commencement speaker. So I don't know if I'm going to get through to you this afternoon, but I'm going to try. The other expression is not as fancy as transcendent. It's the smart aleck phrase, so what? Every language has one. In French, it's hello. Hello. In Dutch, it's en nu, and now. I do not mean so what in the junior high school sense, which dismisses this or that tiresome assignment without thought. First year algebra, so what? American history, whatever. Yet even the junior high school version has some good uses. When in the 8th grade you dismiss the scorn of the cool kids, the so what protected you usefully. But the higher use of so what is the adult use. That is, what's the point here? What does it actually amount to? Please tell me. So what in the adult sense is a nice little tool for cutting through nonsense in business or law or academic life. A colleague proposes an expansion in your enterprise. You should ask, so what? How is an expansion going to improve us? Or are we just expanding thoughtlessly, bigger and bigger? I tell my graduate students that if they ask, so what, about every thought they have in economics or history, they will become great scholars. Whenever I listen to another professor, some of those people over there, making an argument, the question is on my mind. So what? Why, I ask, does the argument matter to some important question in economics or history, such as how we became so very rich as we now are compared with our ancestors? When I don't get an answer, when the professor merely gets angry or says she's doing a research because just for fun, well, I lose interest. But the really major use of the so what is to ask for the meaning of what you're doing. Annie, see, I stutter again. Annie Dillard, my name is Deirdre and I stutter on my name all the time, says, now hear this, how you spend your days is how you spend your life. So what asks what your transcendent is. That's the connection. So what asks for meaning. Now, believe me, you'll face this question often in your life. Indeed, the meaning of your life as a whole depends on answering it. But by the time you achieve the unspeakably ancient age of your parents, you will want to have the beginnings of an answer. In whatever form, the answer is that triple perfection which humans seek. Now there's a negative answer to so what, which is that our lives are meaningless, that there's no transcendent, that the perfection is not there in your life. It's all reality, TV, and ice cream. I do love ice cream. Down at the bottom of the hill, there's a very good ice cream store. And I gained about 3 pounds when I was here. In philosophy, this answer is called nihilism, from the Latin for nothing. But I don't recommend it for a start. And in practice, it's impossible to sustain for a human. Even people who claim to be nihilists, revealed by their proud attachment to the idea that they are not really so. They admire themselves for being nihilists. Hey, I'm so cool. Humans, as I said, just do seek meanings, triple perfections, answers. One set of positive answers I recommend is religion. I was 55 years old when I became a Christian, a progressive Episcopalian, if you call that being a Christian. When I was teaching at Denison, I attended St. Luke's Church downtown and remember the weekly protests in front of the church against the invasion of Iraq. This was 2003. There's Ron over there clapping. After which we would adjourn to the village coffee shop across the street. Other transcendents are the family, the craft, the university, the job well done, the career, the company, the town, the nation, the Chicago Bears, we say in Chicago, Dub Bears, Dub Bears. Anything with those capitals that you can see in my printed version with the in front of it. They say in Arabic, Allah, which means the God. And some justification for holding on to this transcendent. The answer to so what is not always good news. The transcendent purpose of human life can be evil. Satan, in Milton's Paradise Lost, says tragically and mistakenly, evil be thee, my good. The German pilot who drove his airplane into the French Alps the other week was described by his girlfriend as wanting to do something that mattered, for which people would remember his name. I've forgotten his name. A fully human life must answer the so what question, and a good human life must try to answer it well. We are humans and demand meanings. Dogs don't. I simply love dogs. They eat and they love. Dogs, it said, have an interest for each of their 4 feet: food, sex, food, and food. But man does seek a triple perfection. Don't settle on an answer too soon. Even if you adopt my recommended religious answer, even if progressive Episcopalian, even if at St. Luke's, even a Denison graduate is not at age 22 fully equipped to answer the so what question. You need some patient time, some experience of life, some trying out of various versions of the transcendent, and a willingness to change the answer that you might have now or will have in a few years. In my own life, I've tried out profession and career and family and scholar and citizen of the world. If you live thoughtfully, asking so what and trying out your replies, not being too hard on yourself, the transcendent will come to you, if through a glass darkly. Try out the answers. You know by now in your life, for example, that being cool is an adolescent transcendent. And by now you should be starting to get over it. A more noble and grown-up transcendent is helping others. Some of you will go into non-profit organizations, which is fine. The desire to help others is a good motive, though you might want to look beyond it to a greater transcendent. But you must not think, and here The Economist speaks, that being in a profit-making company is any less serving of the transcendent. The point is one you ought to have learned in your economics courses. Making a good chair or a good IT service or a good book also serves others. That you get paid for it does not mean you're not serving. They also serve, only stand and wait and on profit. Man does seek a triple perfection beyond a nice car, a nice house, and a nice job. In other words, it's tough, the so what question. The prepackaged answers of religion or tribalism or profession are useful, but they grow stale if not asked and asked and asked. Imparting meaning to your life with all its troubles is hard. I've come to see my stutter, for example, as an advantage, as a helpful, if irritating, daily reminder that I am not perfect. With all the advantages I've had in my life, it would have been easy for me without my stutter to fall into a fatal, ill-justified pride. So go forth, you glorious graduates, and with proper modesty, take to the path with a young person's enthusiasm. But keep in mind, dears, the old person's question, so what? Thank you.
For many of us who choose to spend our life in the academy, Professor McCloskey is widely admired as one of the great living intellectuals of our time. That was really fun. Known both for rhetoric and intellectual dexterity. Between listening to you and watching LeBron James shoot this week, it's been a good week. So I will admit that one of the things that happens when you deeply come to care about people is you want to do right by them. So I'm going to feel very vindicated that it actually rained, or else I would have felt very guilty. Although I am going to suggest that we take the $6,000 you donated, and Seth, just a little more air conditioning would be good. So I want to call upon the provost of the college, Dr. Kim Copeland, to preside over the presentation of candidates in the awarding of the baccalaureate degrees as authorized by the faculty of Denison University.
Will the members of the class of 2015 please stand? Mr. President, I have the honor of presenting for their degrees the members of the Denison University class of 2015.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Denison University and on the recommendation of the faculty, I confer upon each of you your degree with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appearing thereto. Congratulations, you are college graduates. So I'm going to invite the graduates to be seated, and Provost Copeland will now read out the names of the graduates of the class of 2015, and Associate Provost Susan Garcia will direct you to the platform so you may receive your diplomas.
Are you ready? Okay. The senior class co-governors, Catherine, Colin, and Ellicott. Pushkal, Mehrish. Presidential medalists: Emma Bosley Smith, magna cum laude. Christopher Martin, summa cum laude. Whitney Parker Powell, magna cum laude. Julie Lynn Rooney, magna cum laude. Allison Marie Scarlett, summa cum laude. Megan Donnelly Warden, magna cum laude. Those receiving the Bachelor of Fine Arts degree: Jane Christian Hall. Adam South Rice. Jonathan Vega. Those receiving the Bachelor of Science degree: Sarah Ann Altamore. Taylor J. Arend, cum laude. Briella Lexine Bear. Elizabeth Abigail Bailey, cum laude. John Noel Baird. Elizabeth Mackenzie Bertolet. Hannah Elizabeth Brown, magna cum laude. Tyler J. Byrne. Christina C. Carrero. Catherine Antonia Cashy. Casey Brian Sempre, cum laude. Olivia Chapathi. In absentia, Evan Kirk Chabursky. Abigail Chua, cum laude. Emily Donovan Costco, magna cum laude. Alexandria Lynn Couch. Cameron Francis Crow, magna cum laude. Thomas Adelard Demers. Megan Victoria Diefenbacher, summa cum laude. Elizabeth Day Donahue. Christina Aileen Dungan, cum laude. Kelsey Adeline Eklund, class valedictorian, summa cum laude. Kelsey Hope Elliott. Genevieve Eng Surowick. Kara Celeste Eversole. Amanda Marie Farr. Patrick Cullen Foley. Charles Jackson Ford. William Franklin Gaglione. Kristen Marie Geary. Ariana Gray Bay, magna cum laude. Mary Margaret Habel, cum laude. Kira Nicole Harkins, summa cum laude. Kayla Hayes. Ankita Rachel Henry. Alexandra Elise Ingram. Saliba George Ashok. Emily Clark Jenkins. Brittany Malia Kirch. Nathaniel Kuntz. Zin Lee. Yuqiang Leung. Emily A. Lipsitz. Jackie Liu. Xiaoshong Liu. Ian N. Lowe, co-salutatorian, summa cum laude. Sahar Matlu. Megan Kathleen Matson. David Mirshvili. Dana Myers. Ann Kennett Euler. Harshita Pancholi, magna cum laude. Grace Fabriana Pellick. Nicholas Proctor. Sarah J. Ramris. Damon Carter Rosenberg. Riley Seacrest, co-salutatorian, summa cum laude. Morgan C. Sinnott. Teresa Carol Smith, cum laude. Ariel Alora Smith. Mallory Swart Smike. George Nicholas Spaniel.
Alexander Nikolai Sturjevich. Drew Nathan Stormo. Megan Stroud. Dennis Tan. Yuwong Tang, summa cum laude. James Tannehill. Connor Harrison Toth. Angelina Maria Travato, magna cum laude. Kelsey Ann Ulanowitz, magna cum laude. Kyle Robert Vesper. Sneha Vissa. Andrew Gordon Watkins. Jillian James Weeks, summa cum laude. Christian Wires, summa cum laude. Sarah Elizabeth Wilkes, cum laude. Sarah Williams. Payne Allison Winston Lindeboom. Ifu Zhao, magna cum laude. Those receiving the Bachelor of Arts degree: Heather Abzug. Stacy Adams. Lauren Latrice Adejumo. Vincent Anthony Albarano. Sarah Jameson Albrecht. Maria Frances Alo. Zachary Alper, magna cum laude. James Atherton Alverson, magna cum laude. Michael Cosmas Anastos. John Robert Andrewski. Alice Ladd Affelbach. Charles Affelbach. Maria Alejandra Argati. Darcy Ann Babukin. Megan Lynn Bagley. Mary Catherine Bagnell, magna cum laude. Jenda Bai. Thomas Wiley Ball, cum laude. Robin Shelby Banisick. Clinton Paul Barber. Stephen Ray Delmas Lewis Barber. Aisada Bari. Ian Raphael Berry. Nathaniel Bartell. Melissa R. Basil, magna cum laude. Gray DeVore Atencio Bowden. Jennifer Marguerite Beck. Allison Kathleen Becker. Merlin Lorenzo Bell. Nellie Benitez. Jordan Aileen Berger. Alexandra Whiteley Berman. Emily Susan Bessel. Jacob Betts. Elizabeth Bielowski, cum laude. Elizabeth Catherine Billiter. Selma Bislam. Sarah Faye Blake, magna cum laude. William Douglas Blount. In absentia, Adam Charles Bodery. William Benson Bogdan. David Andrew Bone. Emily Ann Bongiovanni. Alexander Parker Bookout. In absentia, Jessica Nicole Borsani. Cameron Kuntz Bosnick. Abigail Boss. Chelsea Lynn Booton. Brittany Bauer. Lisa Beth Brockfeld. Will P. Brackenberry. Brandon Bryan. Maxwell Lucas Burge. Peter Clark Burgesson. Celia Cambray. Nicholas Caravana. Alex Carroll. Tyler Scott Carroll. Amanda Lucking Castle. Linnea Chikoyan. Claire Elizabeth Challenger. Hannah LaBelle Chambers. Mary Whitney Chapman. Susan Frances Cherry, summa cum laude. Caitlin Virginia Cheverine. Brian Ching. Lindsay Morgan Clark. Caroline L. Clutterbuck, magna cum laude. Rebecca Lynn Coe. Megan Elizabeth Coglianese. Anna Regina Cohn. Tony Colazzo. Benjamin John Kohlberg. Kyle Scott Colgane. Catherine Marie Collins. Max R. Collins. Kari Nicole Collins Riley. Devin Bronson Compton. Alex Michael Kahn. Adam T. Kuhn. Marshall Andrew Crane. Suche Kwe. Jennifer Curry. Shannon Rochelle Daniel. Hasti Darabian. Raghav Daswani. Rohin Daswani, cum laude. Emily Dean. Kara DeCaro. Jordan Deckel. Matthew John DeMotz. Tommy DiFilippo. Connor Richard Dignan. Nicholas Diorio. Madeline Bruno Dix. Mac Dolan. Jessica Marie Donaldson, magna cum laude. Benjamin Wilson Doro. Connor Dorff. April I. Doubt. Matthew Chapman Duggins, cum laude. Mills Duodu. Curtis Edmonds. Kristen Edwards. Nora Halleck Gleason Elkins. Lindsay Embry Elledge. Dagarika Dominique Elliott. Jessica El Sayed. Kendra Ann Connolly Epstein. Catalina Esparza. Eric Robert Evans. Allison Catalina Eversman. Logan Mitchell Iyer. Gina Marie Izone, magna cum laude. Julia Grace Feldbaum, magna cum laude. Annie Finn. Catherine Hunter Finsness. Daniel Carnero Fiorentini. Sarah Ellen Fisher. Connor J. Fitzgerald. Elizabeth Kelsey Flaherty. Sarah Elizabeth Fleming. Zachary Allen Fleming. Alexandra Marie Flower. William Grant Fogarty. Patrick Carney Foley. Dylan Fragnoli Francis. Sylvia Andrea Francis Bongay. Alexis Latrice Franklin. Matt Friedrich. Molly Fritz. Barry Lauren Froelich. Alexander Jordan Gay. In absentia, Nora Almamia Gay. Francisco Gayton Jr. Alexander John Janakos. Joseph George, cum laude. Graham Ford Gettle. Gabriella Kathleen Galoni. Marissa Danielle Gilbert. Jason Alejandro Gonzalez. Jennifer A. Goodwin. Amy Towers Gowing. In absentia, Ashley Louise Grafe. Kurt Arthur Gronke, cum laude. Jonah Grail. Genevieve Elizabeth Grant, magna cum laude. Sheila Grant. Ian Robertson Green. Daniel Joseph Gregg. Emily Cliff Guthrie. Emily Rose Hagerman, magna cum laude. Kelsey Elizabeth Hagerman, cum laude. Crystal Elise Hall. Taylor Hollowell, cum laude. Rachel Ann Halteman. Holly Rose Hamlin. Bailey Alexandra Harmon. Megan Hart. Erica Chandler Hastings, magna cum laude. Benjamin Blair Hearn. Caroline Elizabeth Held. Daniel Lewis Hellman. Alfonso Mack Henderson Jr. One, cum laude. Caitlin Elizabeth Hester. Standish India Hicks. Jeffrey Whittemore Higman. Luke Hillier, cum laude. Chase Arthur Hilt. Colin Michael Hockenberry. Margaret K. Hoffman. Sarah Jane Hoffman. Ashton Taylor Hopkins. Emily Catherine Hosfelt. Charlie Hauk. Michelle Marie Howe. Jonathan Wang. Sarah Nicole Weiser. Sarah Ann Strain Hunter. Jean N. Hurley, cum laude. Ludwig Isevsky. Nicholas Quinn Ingram, magna cum laude. Allison Jakubowski. Brianna S. James. Torrin Bruce Jeffries. Windsor Ann Jenkins. Caitlin McCormick Janko. Elena Lynn Johansson. Jimmy Johnson. Lucas Allen Johnson. Sahila K. Joruper. Malhar Joshi. Rima Georgis. Abigail Rose Kaplan, magna cum laude. Shelby Ariel Kaplan. Chenken Kwa. Sterling Shea Keiser. Erin Marguerite Keller. William Robert Kemper. Julia Talmadge Kershaw. Briggs Thomas King. Tina King. Matthew King. Catherine Marie Kirkpatrick. Sarah Song-hee Ko. Matthew Kester. William Potter Kuntz. Kristen Kapustinski, cum laude. Thomas Krieger. Catherine Erin Kuntz. Joshua Kumidarko. Yosong Kwan, magna cum laude. Kai Kiles. Yasmin Leanne Lasalle. Lascelles Elijah Lagaris. Stanisha Annette Lang. Robert Lawley. Brian Samuel Register LeBlanc. Dylan Sturgis Lee. Jennifer Lee. Jennifer LaGrosse. Zachary Andrew Lewinsky. Lingbo Lee, magna cum laude. Xiaojun Li. Tianyu Li. Mary Ray Libertini. Daniel Ellis Lippman, cum laude. Alexandra Janet Lloyd, cum laude. Kristen Elizabeth Losi. Jeffrey Ross LaDuca. William Crandall Longo. Jose Mario Lopez III. Grant Shepard Lorimer. Candace A. Love. Caitlin O'Halloran Lutz. Megan Rose McDonald, cum laude. Kinga Veronica Majira. Sarah Stark Mahalik. Jonna Mayorino. Andrew Hart Malin. Christine Ann Mallinson. Molly Gabrielle Mancuso. Sasha Christina Mandros. Elsa Shelby Pearsall Manning. Daniel Mensis Montilla. Jenna Marie Marquez, summa cum laude. Emily Grace Marguerite, cum laude. Lauren Rolls Foldy Marino. Peter Christopher Markey. Nicholas Marsit. In absentia, Emiliano Ignacia Martinez. Julio C. Martinez III. Marina Olivia Martinez. Diana Lynn Mason. Samuel Mason. William King Mason II. Aaron Kane Massara. Zachary Aaron Maddock. Deepshri Mathur. Kenzie Maynard, cum laude. Julia Stedman McCarthy. Kevin McCarthy. Megan Lynn McCormick. Ellen J. McDevitt Stredney. Calandra McGee. Michael S. McKinney. Kyle James McNulty. Natalia Maria Medina. Susanna Mensah. Jessica Merrills. Emily Metcalf, cum laude. Hannah Rose Meyer. Caitlin Suzanne Malilo. Meredith Lauren Mills. Luis Miranda. Matthew Montague. Jorge Jose Montes. Rebecca Kelsey Morgan. Max Jordan Morimoto. Colin Morris. Corey Morse. Margaret Catherine Mughal. Ryan Richard Mulligan. Eugene Bishop Mumford. Jennifer Aileen Murphy, magna cum laude. In absentia, Michael Oliver Murray. Christina Napoli, cum laude. Matthew John Neeson. Mary Elizabeth Nera. Andrew Thomas Newman. Victoria Storm Newman, magna cum laude. Jennifer Wynn. In absentia, Kenny Wynn. Julianne Compton North. Anna Obeng. Daisy Ochoa. Gabriella Lee O'Connor, magna cum laude. Christoph Oltvai, magna cum laude. Cindy Margarita Ortiz Pimental. Frances Karen Ose Bansu, cum laude. Victoria O.T. Akenton. Estelle Angelique Pappas. In absentia, Brittany Ann Paquette. George Carruthers Park. Sariana Rita Parad. Jasmine K. Pasa. Grace Isabel Patrick. Taylor Kinsey Pavlik. Luchen Peng, magna cum laude. Matthew Pennekamp. In absentia, Samuel Berkeley Peterson. In absentia, Nicholas Lauren Petraka. Viet Tan Fun. Rebecca Eileen Plank, cum laude. Krista Polmeyer. Hugo Dantas Pontes. Evan McPherson Porter. Sarah Elizabeth Post. Teddy Powell. Yamaya Simone Pugh. Jasmine Punihani. Matthew T. Paracchio. Madeline Jane Quigley. Mira Elise Reno Ogden. Uma Narmada Rajendra. Lindsay Chase Rand. Jillian May Regan. Madeline Kate Regan. Ellen Victoria Reed, magna cum laude. Kendra Loth Reed. Dominic Vincent Rendy. Jennifer Lisette Reyes. Alexandra Elise Richards. Corey Ricketts. Gabrielle Madonna Rickle. Larissa Elena Rivera. Megan Kathleen Robb. Lauren Roberts, cum laude. Krishanya Vera Rogers. Brittany Rojas. Najee Nicholas Rollins. Ricardo Romero Jr. Catherine E. Rosa. Riley Robert Roselius. Lucy Adams Roth. Zachary Walter Rothschild. Alexandra Marie Ruett. Cole Edward Ramura. Miranda Ray Russell. Caroline P. Saberwall. Joel Sacknoff. Kahari Rashad Sappho. Cecilia Ariano Salamoni. Tucker Eugene Sanders Lyle. Manny Santana. Clary Grace Sawyer. Elizabeth Ann Schilling. Parker Catherine Schramm. Samantha Sinta. Maximilian Walter Senziak. Richard Emmett Kling Schaefer. Shalene N. Sharan. Andrew William Shaw. Caitlin Diane Sheets, cum laude. Allison Dorn Sheldon. Emily Mayer Short. Emily Margaret Siegel, cum laude. Scott Henderson Simon. Kimone Sadrina Simpson. Visette Sip. Brandon James Sklenar. Emma C. Scarepa. Jimmy Slovett. Emily Nicole Smith, summa cum laude. Benjamin Ross Snader. Rita Joanne Snell, cum laude. Laura Elizabeth Spence. Benjamin Newmeyer Spiegel. Lyman Spitzer. Matthew Lowell Stolniker, cum laude. Chelsea Ellen Steeb. Matthew Eugene Steratore. Sullivan Andrew Stewart. Isabel Marley Stratty. David William Strasser. Brian Robert Steyerwalt. Alexandra Bradley Sullivan. Caitlin Elaine Sullivan. Harold Max Sussman. Isabel Marie Swicklick. Cheyenne Sky Tang. Yiching Tang, magna cum laude. Benjamin Tate, Jr. Courtney Jean Testani. Emerson Thomas Thacker, cum laude. Sabrina Marielle Thibault. Keontae Emir Thomas. Quanzel D. Thompson. Molly Catherine Thompson. Piper Tompkins. Molly Kathleen Toohey. Lisa Torrio, magna cum laude. Marina Elizabeth Townsend. Anne Sheridan Tracy. Henry Tracy. Jackie Tran. Daniela Troya Mayo. Benjamin Michael Troyer. Miwa Sutsui, magna cum laude. Unita Rayvon Upshaw. Brenda Urebe. Leona Vandermolen, cum laude. Xavier Jesus Vargas. Alexandra Elizabeth Varos. In absentia, Richard Vincent Varos III. Grant Arthur Veltman. Nora Kelly Victoroff. Manoj K. Vudajiri. Raylyn Marie Walker. Zoe Walpuck, magna cum laude. Maya Lene Ziegler. Mark Henry Waterman. Brennan Waters. Janet L. Watson. Bryn Delaney Webster, cum laude. Robert Joseph Weingart. Melissa Mansfeld Weintz. Allison White. Erin Libby White. Patrick McKentrow White, cum laude. Sunder Josen Willett, cum laude. Marquita K. Williams. Tempest Williams. John Arthur Williamson, cum laude. Molly Claiborne Willingham. Jordan Christine Wilson, magna cum laude. Carmen Marie Wolber, magna cum laude. Daniel Patrick Wolf. Jordan Woolman. Brad Michael Woolard. Jackson Wu Pong. Yolanda Yang. Casey Yeager. Celeste Maria Zadaran Alsina. Marissa Alexandra Zemsarais, magna cum laude. Showei Chong. Zaik Zhang. In absentia, Tong Tong Zhou. Mary Zhang Zhu. Dale Marie Ziobro. And Robert Zisk, Jr.
How about one more round of applause for the wonderful Denison class of 2016? So, my 9-year-old daughter, Abigail, who's become very close with a lot of members of this class, only asked for 2 things this week. One was to be able to come and sit while you marched across the stage. Thank you, Abigail. But the second was that when the ceremony was over, that we would serve chocolate chip cookies and lemonade. So we will be doing that in the Livingston Gym, so I would invite everybody to join us. So, as is our tradition, we will close the commencement ceremony with the singing of the first verse of To Denison, which is our alma mater. New graduates from Denison's student a cappella groups, the Hilltoppers, Ladies Night Out, Tehillah, and DU-WAP, will sing the first stanza for us once, then we will all join in with them from the beginning. The words are on page 3 of your program. Will you all please stand?
Sets our souls on fire and makes our senses thrill. To Denison, my Denison, in praise our voices swell. The scenes of happy college days, the home we love so well. To Denison we raise our song, fair college on the hill. The name that sets our souls on fire and makes our senses thrill. To Denison, my Denison, in praise our voices swell. The scenes of happy college days, the home we love so well.
Before I hand the podium back to Professor Spiels, I just want to, one last time, thank the class of 2015 for everything you did while you're here to wish you the best of luck wherever your journey will take you, and to remind you that this will always be home. Congratulations.
You may be seated. We ask that you please remain seated as the platform party and faculty recess. After the recession, Associate Provost Susan Garcia will lead the new graduates in the ceremonial turning of the tassels and tossing of the mortarboards. Thank you.
Everyone else, please get your camera ready. Please join together now in turning your tassels from the right to the left. On the count of 3, if you are so inclined, make a lot of noise and toss your hat. 1, 2, 3. Congratulations!